What's up guys, welcome back to my channel, and for today's video we will be looking at Skylords Reborn, our PvE cards, and I'll be ranking it on tier list level, and this tier list is created by Metagross, and so I'd like to thank him for creating this tier list and my thoughts on which cards are better to put inside your rPvE decks. Alright, and here we have tier from S plus all the way to F. For our first card we have Abomination. Looks like it's the Frost affinity. For me, a lot of the affinity usually doesn't really matter unless it's a good one. For example, here we have the Battleforge, the Fire affinity, and of course the Forest Elder Green affinity, which is quite a significant advantage in, or is more useful. Yeah, so I think for Abomination, I've rarely see it in rPvE, but it's not, say, a very bad card to use. So I would put this under B. It's a B tier. It's not bad, but it's not excellent. Yeah, and next we have the Altar of Chaos, and this is very interesting because it can be a very good card. In addition, it is a very fun card where it just blows up everything, and if you got all the corpse from the Nightcrawlers given by the cultist master, can really deal a lot of damage. I think because it is a very fun card to use, but it's not very easy to execute, I'll put it under B tier as well. And of course, Ashbourne Pyro. It's not, again, it's not, say, a very bad card, but it's not a good card as well, but it's good for destroying structures. So because it's good for destroying structures, it's only a tier 3, but tier 3 will be quite useful. Seems like I'm gonna put everything at a B. We might shuffle later, I'm not sure, but I'll call it a B. And for Betrayal, there is no contest at all. It's a very strong card, regardless of the area, except for PvP, because you rarely go to tier 4. So it's probably the only S plus tier in the entire card collection here. Let's move on. Bloodhorn. It's a very good card with Stampede and the Lifesteal. I'll put it as the S actually. It's very good at clearing all those spawning camps. Boom Brothers. In general, this card isn't that great. I put it as an F. Comet Catcher is debatable, but it's fun to play. Yeah, I would say, now that I think about it, I think Altar Chaos is a lot harder to execute, but it's a lot more fun. And okay, with Comet Catcher, because due to the long cooldown, I'll probably put it at C. Although Altar of Chaos also has a very long cooldown, but there's a way to mitigate the summoning, the ability by casting frost building spells. It can help to preserve the health of the explosion, and the damage is really insane, so I'll put it at B. Construct. It's very slow, but it knocks back. It's good for attacking ground units and structures as well, but it's way too slow, so I'll put it at C. I've never seen Deep Fang in rPvE, but it won't be as bad as Boom Brothers, so it will be at D. Ember Strike, because of its fiery birth, it's not as bad, but at the same time you have a lot of other better cards, so I put it at D. If you don't have anything else, Ember Strike. Forest Elder, good for friendly buffs due to its flower power ability, so I'll rank it as A. Gemini, the purple affinity, for me paralysis is much more effective late game, so because it is purple affinity rPvE, I'll put it as a C card. Next we have the Infernal Machine, which you have completely no use of. rPvE is more of an offensive map, so you have to always keep attacking and not much building or defense going on, so it's a F. Thornbark, same, I think it's more of a defensive card, so I'll put it as F as well. Lost Dragon, I don't really use Lost Dragon much, so I can't really say it, but I'll just put it as either C or D, but I'll be generous and give it a C. Lost Spirit Ship in mass numbers is always very powerful. I'll put it as an A because mass spawn good for clearing any types of camps. And we have Mauler, definitely F, no question asked. Voidmaw, same, is an F as well. Moloch is slightly more useful if you want to use according with the combat catcher, because its hardened skin provides up to like 90% reduced damage for range attacks. Necro Fury, again, I feel like it's a more defensive card, but at the same time it's not useless, so I'll just put it as D. Norse Carrier, this is definitely F. Do you know why? Because it is a tier 3 and it's only useful for attacking structures, but it is slow, and by the time it reaches the structures, it will be destroyed anyway, so it's completely useless. Again, enemy paladins, pretty useless in rPvE maps. Mostly for rPvE maps, you want a very good tier 3 and tier 4. Tier 1 and tier 2, there's many better cards, better options. Dreadnought is a good card because of the Pledge of the Giant's ability, but it is not very good. I would say it's in either the B or the C range, but I think I'll put it as a B tier. Ravenheart, due to its new due to its buff, can summon all the Raven ships, and it's very fast, it's no longer slow. I would say that it's either the A or the B tier, but I'm quite impressed with Ravenheart, so I'll put it as the A tier. Death Ray, it's a good card because of its XL counter, but it's not as great as you compare with Lost Spirit Ship or even the Ravenheart, so it's under the B tier. Forest Rim, no question asked, F tier. Rifle Cultist, not completely useless because you can use Offering and gain back the charges for tier 4 cards, so I'll put it as a D. Giant Slayer, F tier. It's more for PvP card. Swamp Drake, not completely useless, but not very useful as well. I'll put it as a D. Shadow Worm, not completely useless, but because it's 4 Shadow Orbs, I'm a little bit reserved for this choice, but I'll put it as a D because I don't see how it can be useful. For me, the best thing about this is the mass disintegration, and I think this is very useful for defensive battles, but rPvE maps are offensive. So, and Tempest, obviously an F. The ability that allows it to attack really takes up for like 4 to 5 seconds, and by the time it's ready to attack, you'll probably be dead. Tortugan, yes, very strong attack, but because of its amok, it's not as useful, but if you can use it well, it's good. Thunder Dragon on the fire affinity is really good. It's even like a A tier or B tier because it's like a siege. Yes, a siege attack bonus. And Rampage, yes, I think it's called Rampage, is just really quick, and it just makes all the enemy units fly around except for extra large units. Abyssal Warder is not very useful. It's more of a PvP card to me. Primeval Watcher, I've never used this card, so I can't say for sure. I just put it as about a C rank because I never used the card. Worldbreaker Gun is, the cannon is very useful, and I could clear the map quite quickly, if especially for the lower difficulty maps, because the range can be, as long as you build in the middle of the map, it can reach to any camp. So I would say it's quite a strong card. I would say it's an A tier card. Next is all the worms, except for the Shadow Worm. I think it's only the Fire Worm and the Core Dredge. I think definitely more useful than the Shadow Worm, because Shadow Worm's 4 Shadow Orbs, and for this Fire and the Cordridge, you can mix around with the orbs, so I think it's probably a little bit more useful, but it's not a very high tier card. Oh, Banzai Lord. I have heard a lot of good things about Banzai Lord and its ability, but I've never used it, so because of its very good reviews that I heard so far, I'll put it as a B rank for now. And next we have Grinder. Again, its passive ability to regenerate health. It's 100% siege damage, which can bring down buildings. I'll call it around a B or the A rank. Put it at B rank. It's very good, but I don't think it can beat like the Thunder Wagon, the Lost Spirit Ship, or even the Worldbreaker gun. The Magma Fiend, not a very useful card. The Fire Dragon, it's extremely good. I would say it's like S tier because of its rage. At its maximum damage output, it is very dangerous. Next, Battleship, I would say that it is an S rank. It's better than Lost Spirit Ship due to its buff. When it has Ice Shield, I think it has Swift instead of a normal speed. Well, originally Battleships are slow, so with the Ice Shield buff, they move quickly and they have a higher damage output as compared to Lost Spirit Ship, so it's definitely an S if you use it well. Sunken Temple, summoning all the creeps, I don't particularly think that it is very useful, but it's not useless, so I put it as a D. Brennot, at the same time, same argument, not very useful, but as a tier 3 card, might be useful to get your tier 4 orbs. Maybe I put it as a C. Infected Tower, this is the one where you go and summon the Cultist Master and get the Nightcrawlers up, and then you use the ability of the Infected Tower and spawn thousands of crawlers. And I've seen this technique a lot, even though I've never used it, but because I'm quite impressed with this technique, I'll give it an A. Yes, I give it an A. And then last one we have the Satanael. Again, not fantastic card, but it's not useless as well, and I think there's much more purpose as the ones in the D tier, so I put it as a C tier. Yes, for Stormdrake, I think, come to think of it, Stormdrake has more use as compared to the rest of the D tier cards, so I'll shift it up. Yeah, so I think this is the final outlook that I think should be the tier list for rPvE decks, and let me know if you agree or you have any thoughts about it. Definitely I'm not a very all-rounded player, as some of the cards I've never used for rPvE, so hopefully with some of your comments I can improve my game and even maybe influence me in making a deck that I thought that the cards were useless, maybe under the C to F tier. Right, I'll see you again next time, and I hope you enjoyed this video.